Hello and welcome. We're going to continue on part 3 today. Last time we finished a little arc with the people of Little Amigo. And today we're going to start with Terror at Falgord. According to Minfilia, there has been another potential sighting of La Habreo in the North Shroud. Speak with Sylph Noraxia for the details. So here we go. Noraxia's right around this corner. As she, I don't know if Sylphs are even gendered. They just joined the Scions. Walking One is to investigate Sinister One, then heed well this one's words. This one is friends with a Walking One in the Ashcrown Consortium. According to Friendly One, a Digging One named Medrod had an encounter with a scary Masked One. This Masked One is most certainly Sinister One. Walking One should go and speak with Digging One, Medrod. Digging One is to be found at Falgord Float in the North Shroud. Alright. Please leave me be. I'm not long for this world. I look death in the face. 'Tis only a matter of time before he comes for me, just like he came for that poor woman. Medrod is clearly traumatized. Perhaps if you were to soothe him, he might remain calm for long enough to hold a conversation. This seems like an inappropriate time to teach the player about emotes. Very meaningful. You're right, it's not as bad as it seems. I saw something terrible, that's true. That hardly means I'm going to suffer the same fate. Thanks to you, I think I can think straight again. I believe I can even recount what I saw without losing it. It was just another ordinary day. I was headed back to the float when I noticed a suspicious character in the distance. A masked man garbed head to toe in black. He had a hideous fiend in tow, a winged creature that was all eyeball and jagged teeth. Taken by curiosity, I crept near as I dared. To see the corpse of a woman. One glimpse was enough to tell me that she'd died a gruesome death. In that instance, I knew right away that the masked man was a minion of Thal, come to claim her soul for his realm. What? You're investigating the same masked man? If that's the case, we'll help you in whatever way we can. Aye, anything to ensure we won't have to suffer Medrod's hysteria ever again. Alright, teamwork. That's what I wanted to... Wait, I haven't been that bad, have I? At any rate, I'm all for helping this adventurer. It's the least I can do to repay him for comforting me. What charisma? Aideen has a proposal to make concerning your investigation. So here's what I know about the deaths. All the victims were found with their faces torn to shreds. Among the local fauna, only the scalekin known as Ziz could inflict such wounds. That's why some folk are pointing the finger at them. I somehow doubt the answer's that simple, but for the sake of thoroughness, we should look into it. Why don't you put down, say, 3 of the creatures, and see if you can find any proof connecting them to the deaths. Already seen to the Ziz. Good work, adventurer. So were you able to find aught that suggests the creatures are our culprits? Nothing. Truth be told, even if there were proof, I wouldn't know what it looked like. Anyway, I believe we can safely strike Ziz from our list of suspects. Which leaves us with the masked man and his winged eyeball. Aideen has further knowledge of the mysterious deaths. There's something else I heard about the deaths. It appears all the victims have been comely maidens. Better watch myself, eh? Unsteamly japes aside, there's a rumor going around. There's some as whisper that after each victim died, her rancor went into the great big rock southwest of here, causing it to flash and moan. This bears investigating, I reckon. I'm gonna give you a fire sand stick to blow off a piece of the crag. The stick doesn't come with a fuse or anything, so you'll have to throw the thing. Once you've torn the rock a new one, bring back some of the fragments, and I'll give him a gander. This is it. Let's grab these humming crystals. See what they can intuit from them. Most folks are too scared to go within 100 yalms of the Rock of Rancor. Oh, it has a name. What's a few vengeful spirits to a dauntless adventurer like you, eh? Huh? Well, these are just your garden variety crystals. It's a bit hard to tell beneath all the dirt and grime, but they're definitely lightning aspected. I almost hate to say it, but that explains the flashing and moaning. Nothing to do with the masked stranger. Looks like I've gone and wasted both your time and a perfectly good fire sand stick. Oh well. Sriracha, get off of there! Everalt has information to share regarding your investigation. There is something you should know. I have been keeping this to myself lest I worsen Medrod's paranoia, but I too have seen the winged eyeball. I cannot say whether it was coincidence, but my sighting took place precisely at the same time as Medrod's. I was heading home after a day of digging when a shadow fell over me. Looking up, I found myself locked in a gaze with a giant eyeball. I let out a scream at the top of my lungs and ran without once looking back. This happened at the rocky area west of here, in case you had mind to investigate. A heavy vein. Nothing there. A monstrous Banemite appeared and you slew it? That creature had long been scourged upon the folk of Volgord. Intentional or no, you have done us a great service. You have my gratitude. But that does make me wonder, was it truly a winged eyeball I saw, or merely a trick of light combined with blind panic? Medrod is troubled by the dearth of new developments in the murder investigation. That's an intimidating eyeball icon for that quest. There have been no promising leads in the murders. I can scarce get a wink of sleep knowing that the killer is still at large. Judging by your furrowed brows, I take it the sorry business troubles you as much as it does me. I had been pondering my encounter. I was uncertain for a time, but there can be no doubt it was a winged eyeball that I witnessed. It's implausible that I could have mistaken something so distinct for a Banemite. But you and I were malms apart. How could we have both seen it at precisely the same time? What's more, our adventurer friend here had a run-in with a Banemite at the very spot you claimed to see that fiendish eyeball. Isn't that right? Must be an explanation. I know I saw an eyeball with wings. I would wager an apple tart on it. Ooh, he's serious. But listen, mayhap it's not as mysterious as we're making it out to be. There's no reason why there couldn't be... Because, of course, there must be more than one of the buggers. It's so obvious. But that means, since there have been repeated sightings of these fiends, then there must be even more victims as yet discovered. I do believe we're out of our depth. We ought to leave the rest to the expert. Yeah, we're just civilians after all. Good luck, adventurer. It was a pleasure knowing you. Well, I burn to know the truth. Some things are best left unknown. Lest you have forgotten, it was at the rocky area to the west that I had my encounter. Should you discover aught of note, you will want to alert the authorities. There's a guardhouse nearby. The serpents there should be pleased for any information that pertains to the security of the region. Alright. Well, we scared them out of their wits. Ominous circle and a mangled corpse. Well. I think that's the flying eyeball. All eye and teeth. Fair assessment. Greetings, adventurer. Is there aught I might assist you with? Here, I brought you this corpse. Gods be good, not again. No matter how many bodies I see, I cannot seem to get used to the horrid sight. Poor woman. Identical deaths have been reported in Central Shroud. While the masked stranger you seek does not seem to feature in any sightings of the winged eyeball are common enough. The creature appears to be moving the bodies, but to what end none can say. The victims have all been young women. All are found with their faces mutilated beyond recognition. It's been difficult to identify them so as to notify their next of... This button, engraved with a lily motif. The very same object was found upon another victim. A family sigil? Or that of an organization, perhaps? Either way, I dare to hope that this will prove pivotal in solving the murders. Thelmare wants you to hold on to the button. I would have you hold on to the lily button. You will need it to continue your investigation. While it isn't standard procedure to entrust key evidence to individuals, you have proven yourself reliable and resourceful in this matter. I see no reason why you shouldn't carry on your work. If I might make a suggestion, you may wish to take the button to Gridania and have it examined by Mion. Perhaps someone in her vast network of contacts can shed light upon its sigil. Good morrow to you viewers. By your grim expression, I suspect you aren't here for scones and herb tea. Wasn't this a lovely little button? The engraving is quite exquisite. Artisan level quality, I would say. Where did you say you found this? On a dead body. Lovely. Anyway, I'm afraid I do not recognize the lily sigil. You will have to find the answer the old-fashioned way, by asking around. You could do worse than beginning with Bernadette over by the Aetheryte Plaza. She has a sharp pair of eyes, that one. A sharp pair of eyes. It must be her. Need help tracking down the owner of a button? That's certainly not a request I receive on a regular basis. Well, go on then. Show me what you have. Evidence of your involvement in a crime. Seems to be some manner of decorative button, reminiscent of those worn by the families of old, though I cannot claim to know its sigil. However, I can say with certainty that the white lily is a recurring theme in Gridanian culture. Alas, I do not know who would make a personal sigil of it. If there was a soul in Gridania who does, it would be Senguld over at the Lazarus Guild. The woman makes a point of knowing all of the citizens on a forename basis. Bernadette believes that I can help you? Well, that is a rather bold assumption to make. We will try to assist, never you fear, but whether aught comes of it is another matter. Now then, what do you require of me? That doesn't sound very courageous. Fascinating. Work of this quality is rarely seen in the hands of ordinary Gridanians. The owner of this button is most certainly well-to-do. You may wish to take your search to the Gentry's Ward, northwest of here. Wait, memory comes to me. Of late there has been a man who is perpetually seated at the bench by the ward's entrance. His name is Ursandal, and I distinctly recall seeing a markedly similar button upon the breast of his jacket. I dare say he can tell you a thing or two about it. Alright. I do not believe that we are acquainted. Pray leave me to my thoughts. The sigil of the Jotuncourse family. How is it that you came to be in possession of this button? From the body of a murdered woman. Her face, was it marred in any way? I had feared as much. I can no longer feign ignorance. I shall reveal to you the truth of the deaths, but on one condition. You must promise to put an end to my lady's madness and free her from her torment. Well. Skeletons in her closet. Ursandal has a confession to make regarding the mysterious murders. I was once a manservant in the employ of one of the oldest and proudest families in Gridania, the Jotuncourse. During that time, I had the honor of waiting upon Lady Amandine, mistress of the household. Fair as summer was she, and possessed of a heart befitting her radiance. Alas, the calamity wrought great change in her. Though my lady escaped with her life, death may well have been a kinder fate. Never will I forget the day her bandages were removed, and she beheld her disfigured face for the first time. At that moment, the kindly woman I knew ceased to be. Unable to bear the thoughts of being seen, my lady sequestered herself within her chambers and refused all company. This continued for many uneasy moons, until one day, without warning, she began receiving queer guests. None among us knew whence they came, these masked men, but my lady believed they would help her to regain what she had lost. So began the rites of rejuvenation. These rituals seemed innocent enough in the beginning, but grew ever more grotesque as time went by. Eventually, there came a day when my lady bound one of her handmaidens to the bed and proceeded to mutilate the poor girl's face. Suffice it to say, she did not survive the ordeal. It fell to me to dispose of her body. I performed the dreadful task as bade, obedient servant that I was, but when the time came to return to the house, my legs refused to move. I knew then that I could not go back to that place, not after the nightmare I had witnessed. So it was that I left Hawk Manor, my home for nigh on half a century. Long did I weep for the girl who was slain, and longer still for the woman that Lady Amandine had been. Yet one cannot weep forever, and I endeavored to put the matter behind me. Indeed, I had resolved never to speak of my experience until you appeared before me. My lady's madness must be ended, lest more innocent lives be lost. Lay your tormented soul to rest, as you swore to me you would. She awaits you now at Hawk Manor, on the western edge of Central Shroud. Go now, go and do what must be done. That's not an omen. I don't know what is. Aside from the grotesquerie statues, I like the architecture. A lot of lights. Needs more. Okay, so we gotta pick up a bunch of keys here. Where even is that? There it is. It's been a while since I played Ninja. Let's open every door in this place. Treasure coffer. Fine wax. Not surprising. They would store very refined items in a manner like this. High quality, high cost. Now, this is an interesting dungeon. Most dungeons have a fairly straight line you follow, but this one has 3 floors and very few. This is the entrance. So you start by going... You start here and go all the way around. And then you use that key to go through this door. We also have a couple tiny keys we can use for other doors. How'd I miss you? Alright. Such as this door. Can I take this room with me? The entire room? Bring it all with me? That'd be nice. Can I sneak past them? So a trick people usually do is they'll jump down here. They'll either jump over there, or you can actually go off the side here. Because it prevents you from having to fight them. There is another condition to that, but we'll get to that in a second. Okay, we grabbed the 2 keys. You don't see full clears of this place anymore. Which is a little bit of a bummer for newer players who are looking to kind of fill in all the maps. There is an achievement for completing each map, each dungeon. There's nothing in this room, I don't believe. Yeah, nothing. Most of these side treasure chests have gear. A special key, a yellow key. And one last tiny key. Now for this part, you want to target the guy on the right first, the Jester. He has less health and prevents him from dealing damage. This guy you want to stun. Do I even have stun? I think I do. Where are my... It's been a while since I've actually... Ah, there it is. Leg sweep. You should be able to stun him every time. Boom. Okay. So he drops a slip of bloody parchment, which you grab. And I don't know if you noticed it before, but there is a seal on the door to the second floor. From here, you cast a return. You can either go to the menu, return. If you're on keyboard, it'll show up on the bottom right. You can also slash return. Type it in. Same spell you use in the overworld, except it returns you to the beginning of the dungeon, if you're in a dungeon. See, we can use that parchment to destroy that barrier. Now, you're supposed to go after that guy, and then you can finish the level, but we're going to go over here, since I'm showing off full clears. And here is one of the most useful tricks in the game that's just underrated. It's normally not necessary later. But you see all these guys? Those 3 are ranged enemies. They're shooting fire at me. Which means they don't have to walk right up to you, meaning you're like circle AoEs. Don't hit them very well. But if you walk around a corner, they can't see you. You're out of their line of sight. So they have to follow you to the point where they can actually attack you. Very useful info for tanks. Why did I grab that? I don't need that. It's just inventory space. Anyway. Yeah, so we'll continue on it here. Now I'm going to keep the boss's abilities a secret, because that's just fun. So the horns actually imply void scent, which have some interesting implications. It's cool. Darkness has taken root within these halls, sprung from the most unlikely of seeds. One can't help but admire the irrepressible spirit that quickened it to life. It is a pleasure to meet you at last, adventurer. You are every bit as intriguing as our master gave us to believe. It is no ordinary mortal that can require one crystal of light, much less 3. The crystal makes you strong, and it is to that strength that the light is drawn. Heidelin chose well. A pity that your existence is irreconcilable with our own. We cannot well allow you to continue on your present course. Alas, we came here not to play, but to take measure of your strength for Master La Habrea. That task now accomplished, we take our leave of you. Bye. Fare you well, bringer of light. Couldn't they take measure without, like, talking? They're just trying to psych me out. You are returned. What sights awaited you within the manor? What has become of Lady Amandine? You must tell me all. So she went so far as to consort with devils. What that I could have done more to prevent her fall. May she finally find peace in the beyond. I know not whether the masked men you encountered are the same pair that first led my lady astray, but it is plain that they are the same vile brood. Should the chance ever present itself, promise me that you will visit upon them tenfold the woe they have brought upon others. But who am I to speak punishment? By my silence I allowed know not how many innocent young women to die in unspeakable circumstances. It matters not wherefore, though misplaced my loyalty, cowardice, or both. I am an abettor to a gross crime, and I will surrender myself to the authorities and accept whatever punishment they deem just. I only pray that the gods will have mercy on my soul. Wait. Why did I just immediately come back here? Fuck, she created a habit. I've been Pavloved. Welcome back, viewers. Full glad am I to see you safely returned. Tell me, how fared you on your sojourn in the Twelveswood? Two of La Habrea's minions, and they sought to measure your strength by their own admission? The devils taunt us. It is beyond doubt, then. The Ascians have begun to move in earnest. Would that we knew to what end. Yet I will not bemoan our plight. Thanks to your tireless efforts, we are at least aware of the encroaching darkness. Alas, we can only do so much. It is clear to me now that we Scions are too few to protect the realm against this threat unaided. We must needs alert the 3 nations to the presence of this elusive enemy, and recommend that they heighten their vigil. There is no shortage of misery in the world that the Ascians might exploit. We have an arduous struggle ahead of us. Yet come what may, we must not allow ourselves to become lost to hope, for that's precisely what the enemy desires. We have gleaned all we can from the information available to us. Let us set this investigation aside for the present. Another matter has risen that requires your attention. Let me know when you are ready to be briefed, and I will summon the others. Alright, there we go. We finished the kind of second chunk of part 3. The next one is, well, starts with Wrath of Titan. Thanks for checking this out. I hope you have a wonderful day, and see you next time. Thanks for watching. Currently I'm streaming this New Game Plus run on Twitch Tuesdays at 11 AM Pacific Time, and I upload by the end of the week. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, or check me out on Twitch. Link is in the description.